Raid Shadow Legend is the game. Amiel is my name. Hello to all of you. Welcome back to another video of my YouTube channel about Raid Shadow Legend. Welcome back to another video, a different one than normal. Today I'm going to talk about masteries. I will go through each and every one of the masteries so we will all get to know them. I mean, if you are like me, most likely you are usually just copy paste a masteries from any kind of source, whether it's the website like LAD's website, maybe it's a video, a YouTube video of any content creator that showcase some champion. And when you get a new champion, you just check some video about him and you copy paste the masteries without thinking a lot about it, right? Maybe you know some of the masteries, maybe you know the tier 6 of masteries, like those one on the bottom, but you're not like knows in your head and like think in your head about all the variation possible, right? And maybe you want to do that, maybe you actually want to know the masteries. So yeah, if you want to know each and every one of the masteries, then this video is for you. You can sit down, you can relax, you can drink a cup of coffee or maybe just a cup of juice. You can listen to this video, me explaining every single mastery at the time. Okay, so I'm small and I'm over here. Yeah. Force Mastery, War Master, alright? That mastery, which is on the far left of the attack mastery. So there's a bunch of text here. My guess that if you play Raid Shadow Legend, you know about this mastery. Is quite popular. A lot of people knows about him. Usually, War Master will do damage based on max HP. So that means if the enemy has a lot of HP, the damage will be higher. And basically this mastery is good if you attack enemies that has a lot of HP, let's say bosses, and you do not have the capability to build your champions with a very end game stats that they can do a lot of damage with their stats, not based on max HP. So it's mainly War Master can be very good for early game when your account is not developed enough, for champion that you use in the Demon Lord, which is the clan boss enemy. Basically, this mastery can make or break actually your damage, because that can add to every champion that has it like 1 million damage to the total, 2 million damage. So yeah, think about War Master when you think about PvE, and when you think about Demon Lord, and when you think about the champions that doesn't have the capability to make a lot of damage by their own merit, by their own stat. Okay, second one called Helm Smasher. Helm Smasher is basically different from War Master because that mastery will give you a lot of damage if you have actually a champion that is quite developed in terms of his gear. Okay, so what does it read? It read has a 50% chance to ignore 25% of the target's defense. For skill that ignore defense, that will be added to it. So basically, if you have a skill that ignore 50% defense, don't be alarmed. That will be 25 added to it, so that will be in total 75%. But there is a 50% chance that will proc or not. So meaning, sometimes you can hear some people telling, oh, Helm Smasher did not proc here. Oh, that's bad. Because 50% chance that proc or not. This mastery considered to be the strongest one for nukers for PvP. Alright, and also for PvE, if your champions are really developed and have a lot of stats, I can see someone putting this mastery on a champion like Toshiro or Ninja, if they are in the Chimera and their stats is like 9,000 attack, 350 crit damage, something like that, then yeah, this mastery can actually doing some work way more than the War Master work, because the War Master is a fixed damage that maybe will be good when you're early game, but as you progress, it will not be enough. So this mastery is for nukers, PvP most likely. All right, next one is Giant Slayer. And Giant Slayer is actually similar to the War Master, to the first mastery, but it's better if you have a champions that their A1 is a multiple hitter. Why is that? Giant Slayer Reed has a 40% chance to inflict bonus damage when attacking. Bonus damage is equal to 7.5% of the target champion max HP, or 3% if it's a boss, and the bonus damage can occur on each hit. Alright, that is different from the War Master. So if I hit 3 times, I have 3 chances to land those 3% damage, which in total could be 9% damage. And if I will take you back really fast to the War Master, you will see that it is 4% damage against bosses, only 1, right? A core only 1 per skill. So only 4%. But let's say your A1 is only 1 hitter, then you're better off to begin with this and doing 4%. Also here there is 60% chance to land, and in the Giant Slayer it's only 30% chance to land. So that's why it's also advised if you have only 2 hitter to use the War Master and not the Giant Slayer. But both of them are same idea, damage based on max HP, PvE versus bosses when your account is not developed enough. Let's go to the last tier 6. Okay, crit damage plus 20. This is like really obvious, really simple. You basically get 20% more crit damage. Then, when will you choose it? Well, I guess I will choose this masteries when I already have 100% ignore defense. Let's say I have it by other means. I mean, it's possible. It's really, really late game, but it's possible. My Titus, if you know the champions for clan boss and stuff, my Titus has 100% ignore defense versus Hydra, so it does not need the mastery that gives ignore defense. Again, also I believe this mastery is good if your account is developed and if you have a very good gear on the champion, already very high gear. So yeah, the difference between 350 crit damage and 370, I mean, it's noticeable. It is a difference. Those 20% crit damage, trust me, it makes difference, some amount of difference, more than the damage based on max HP. I mean, if your champion is built right and has a lot of attack or a lot of damage dealing stats, then yeah, that is preferable. So let's go up and let's read now the mastery of the far left, but one row above the bottom row. So methodical read, increase the damage inflicted by this champion default skill by 2% each time it's used during battle, stack up to 10%. So the methodical mastery, basically again offense, more damage with the A1, can be very good if you are using your A1 multiple times. So usually, in longer battles, like clan boss and stuff like this, but this methodical, people choose this a lot of time. It's very popular mastery, basically a bit more damage on the A1. Next one in line is kill streak. Increase damage inflicted by 6% in arena and siege, and 3% in all other locations for each enemy killed by this champion. And it's stack across round up to 12%. So kill streak can be used in a build, let's say a farmer build. So that's a champion that you use as a solo farmer in some dungeon, if you want to use, let's say, only Gnishak in a dungeon. So whenever the Gnishak kills some enemies, is getting more damage. In arena, it's sometimes used, and it can be a good add bonus to your damage, 12% more, but you need to be a damage dealer and you need to be a champion that actually can kill enemies. Okay, next one after that, Blood Shield. So place a shield buff on this champion for 1 turn when this champion kills an enemy. not including boss minion. The value of the shield equal to 50% of this champion max HP occur once per turn. Again, if you have a champion that can kill enemies, then that mastery is good on him, at least in the sense that he will get the shield, because you kind of have to kill someone to get the shield. But I don't know if this mastery is super popular. It's not that much popular because usually 50% HP shield, I don't know if that will make or break the battle. But you can think about it. Maybe you will want to pick it for some of your champions, some new care that you want him to survive, to be able to be a bit more tankiness. Maybe on an HP new care that on them 50% HP shield is a bigger than an attack champion. Attack champion is usually less HP in total. So yeah, now you know at least what blood shield is. It gives you a 50% HP shield on yourself after you kill one enemy. Stock to Fury. Stock to Fury. Increased damage inflicted by 4% for each debuff on this champion, stack up to 12%. So this again can give you 12% more damage, similar to this one, Kill Streak. But what you need here is you need to have debuff on you. If you have free debuff on you, you get 12% more damage. In some situations, that could be very, very strong. In others, that could mean nothing because usually you do not want to have debuff on yourself. So I feel like you will not use this mastery in a normal arena situation because you hopeful that you will not get debuff on you. But if you build teams specifically around doing a lot of damage and you know that you will get debuff on you, actually there is some champion that put poison on you, and that means you doing more damage if you have those poison on you. It's some kind of a legendary. I can't remember his name. But anyway, let's say you use him in like a clan boss team, then actually you want this mastery because that means you have a debuff on you and you can do more damage. But most of the time you will not pick Stroke to Fury. Alright, let's keep going. Bring it down. Increase damage inflicted by 6% when attacking target with higher max HP. So this blessing usually will work versus clan boss and stuff like this when the enemy has more HP. And also that will be good in arena, but less so on HP nukers, because HP nukers can have, let's say, 100k HP, 120k HP, and then most of the time they will not have less max HP than the enemy, and that mastery will not do anything. Okay, let's go. Wrath of the Slain. Okay, increased damage inflicted by 5% for each dead ally, stack up to 10%. So again, that could be very good on a farmer, as I said, like Gnishak, if he farm like Dungeon 20 or something like that, because you put champions that are food, like some low-level champions that just dies, and then Gnishak gets like 10% extra damage. So that can be good. That can also work in arena to some degree, but less so, I feel like. Because usually in arena, if you are the nuker, usually you are the one to die, and your support that alive will revive you. But let's think about it. Let's say you are a Nice, the mythical Nice. Actually, that mastery can work on him, right? Because a champion like Nice, a lot of the time is the last one to stay alive. And then he needs to nuke in order to revive his allies. So there is some situation that this mastery can actually be nice. Let's keep going. Cycle of Violence has a 40% chance to decrease the cooldown of a random skill by 1 turn if the damage inflicted by a skill exceed 40% of the target max HP. Occur once per turn. So versus clan boss, I don't know if these masteries will ever proc. Obviously not, because he will not do 40% max HP in one hit. So that mastery is not good in a clan boss environment. But to a farmer, it maybe will be good because, less so. It's not always that you're doing a 40% max HP to the minions, to the wave, because usually the waves has higher max HP, but sometimes it will work. So you can consider that. In arena it could be actually decent, if you are a nuker, usually you will do plenty of times more than 40% max HP, and then you have a 40% chance to decrease a cooldown of a random skill, let's say maybe your nuker skill. I will also use it most likely on a champion like Titus or maybe Tranda in Hydra clan boss, because in Hydra clan boss you can actually finish a Hydra head with one hit. So with those champions at least, so it could be good there. But I feel like this mastery is kind of decent. It has its place in PvP a lot. It sometimes can change the match. If you get your cooldown faster, that could be very good. Next up, Opportunist. Increased damage inflicted to target with stun, sleep, fear, basically all the CC's stuff, by 12%. So if an enemy has a CC on it, you are doing 12% more damage. It's a specific kind of damage dealing. You will use it if your nuker put debuff. I mean, I can think about Yukimasa actually, that is A2, is freeze all enemies, Torment doing a lot of freeze, and also champions, that stun and doing damage, maybe Ragash. And also if you have a comp of champion that relying on CC, maybe you have a very good CC champion that you use a lot in your PvP team, then maybe you want this mastery on some of your nuker because you're relying on the extra 12% damage from the stun on the enemy or something like that. Alright, that was Opportunist. Let's go. Single out. Increased damage inflicted to target with less than 40% HP by 8%. That mastery can be very good, if the enemy has less HP on them, if the enemy is kind of a low, 40% HP or less, then you will do more damage to it. I mean, can be good. Life Drinker. Heal by 5% of damage inflicted when attacking with 50% HP or less. That is a very survivable mastery. Like, it's for the nukers because you need to do a lot of damage to get a lot of heal, but it's like a survivable mastery. It could work really well in some clan boss setup. If you are a long fight and those heals can actually means you do more damage during long times. And it can also be work in some PvP areas, some fights of PvP. Those heal can mean the difference between winning or losing. And one last tip, this life drinker actually work very good with the mastery that doing damage base of max HP, because you can get heal 5% heal of this damage. So if I did 4% max HP of, let's say, a clan boss, so that, let's say, 4% is like 50k HP of damage, and I get 5% of this 50k, I get what? 2,500 500 HP heal. I mean, I will get that. I will take that. At least it's a bit more of a healing, So that's cool. All right, let's keep going. Whirling of Death. Increase speed by 6 for each enemy killed by this champion. Stack across round up to 18%, up to 18 speed. Because it read stack across round, I also think that it can be good in some kind of a farmer, Again, if you farm Dragon 20, Ice Golem 20, stuff like this, Dragon 10, hard, then if you kill on the first wave some enemies, to the next wave you will have 80 speed extra. I mean, that could be very good. In arena, in PvP, I don't know if I would take this mastery. I mean, let's say you have a nuker that is always going first and basically always killing at least one champion. That could be a bit of extra speed, for that fight. That could work. Maybe Ailil if you go first, in some kind of a comp. Maybe Hegemon if Hegemon go first and kill a champion. But I don't know if that champion is like, I would not have taken it a lot of time. It's not that popular. Ruthless Ambush. Increased damage inflicted by 8% for the first hit on each enemy. So that is kind of similar to this mastery, single out. 8% against enemy that is less HP. But here is actually at the start of the fight. So let's think you are going first. Let's say you are the nuker, you are the first in your team to attack the enemy. Then your hit will deal 8% more damage. That can actually be noticeable. Alright, keep going. Heart of Glory. Increased damage inflicted by 5% when attacking with full HP. So similar, alright? Similar to that one. Let's say the fight just started. You are with full HP. Nobody is attacking you again so far. And you attack and you're doing 5% more damage. Actually, popular mastery can help a lot. Especially in some sort of comps when you have like a lot of shield, maybe like a Titus team, and you almost never lose in HP because you have the shield to protect you. That could be good. All right, keep going. Keen Strike, crit damage plus 20, plus 10. That's it. Extra 10 crit damage. That's actually very interesting that this Keen Strike is over here on, let's call it tier 2 mastery. And you have on tier 6 like only 20% crit damage. I would expect that this flawless execution will be like 30 crit damage, maybe 40, I don't know. But it is what it is, and I will tell you, this 20, it's noticeable. Don't dismiss it. Even though it's not a lot, don't dismiss it. It's something. Anyway, this is very, very popular mastery. Keen Strike, 10% critical damage, very popular. This one, increased damage inflicted to shield on a target by 25%. So if you're attacking champions that has shield, you kind of want it. In arena, a lot of time you will encounter enemies in arena that have shield. I mean, me myself, I'm using a magma shield and bolster. So yeah, against me, that can be very good. But it's not all the time that you are facing champions with shield, but that could be good, could be work. Alright. And Grim Resolve, increased damage inflicted by 5% when attacking with 50% HP or less. So right over here, it was if the enemy has 40% HP or less, you get more damage. But here in Grim Resolve, it's if you are with less HP, you are dealing extra 5%. Actually, it's similar. It's like the opposite of that one, Heart of Glory. If you are full HP, you're doing 5%. So you kind of need to think to yourself, what will happen what is more likely, that you will have full HP or that you will have like less than 50% HP. And this is how you can decide which mastery to choose here. All right, last two. This one, Blade Disciple, is basically plus 75 attack. Kind of a, simple one. And Deadly Precision is plus 5 crit rate. And this is very, very popular. I found myself using this mastery a lot of time because 5% extra crit rate can help a lot the build. When you build champion and you need to build them with 100% crit rate, then that plus 5 can help a lot. And yeah, those were all of the offense mastery. Hopefully now you know a bit more about them and you can think to yourself what kind of a build to use them. And yeah, that was the office. Let's go to the defense mastery right now. Alright, so let's start with the defense. Again, the most to the left and the bottom right, we have Iron Skin plus 200 defense. I did not see a lot of champion picking that mastery. 200 defense, I'm not really sure how much it's valuable or not. It's less popular, at least from what I know and see. But at least now you know that there is some sort of mastery called Iron Skin. If you need it, 200 defense, could maybe be worthwhile in some situation. But I will say right now, as far as I know, it's not popular mastery. Bulwark, decrease the damage all allies receive by 5%. This champion will receive that damage instead. Similar to ally protection, ally protection buff, if you know what it does. That's similar. Basically, you soak in damage that your other friends got, and you take that damage instead. Can be good on some protected champions, some very bulky, bulwark, very tanky and strong champion that can survive a hit. Think about Necret, maybe can be very good candidate for that mastery. Fearsome Presence. Increase the chance of placing a stun, sleep, freeze, basically the CC debuff from skill or artifact, because there is like a stun set artifact or stuff like this, or maybe a freeze artifact by 5%. So you basically have 5 extra percent to land the CC. I mean, on some occasion that could be very needed. Think about maybe Torment, the cold, that has lower chance to put the freeze. So if you add to those lower chance extra 5%, that could be very, very meaningful, but I don't know, it's not like those masteries are really, really popular, but in some situation, those masteries can actually be very, very good and needed. At least now you know that there is some mastery called Fearsome Presence that will increase the chances to put SCC. You know, you can think on some situation when you will want to use it. All right. Uh, Unshakable, basically plus 50 resistance. So you will most likely use Unshakable when you make build that you want your champion to have the highest resistance ever that you can make. If it's a support, if it's a nuker like the new mythical from the Bannerlord, who knows? But this mastery will give you plus 50 resistance. So it's cool, right? It's cool. All right, let's keep going. Uh, Selfless Defender. Decrease the damage an ally receive from the first hit of an enemy in each round by 20%. This champion will receive that damage instead. So, Selfless Defender, similar to Bulwark actually, only now it's 20% of the damage that you take to you instead of your ally, and it's only on the first hit in each round. So if it's arena, it's only one round, but only the first hit. I mean, that could be very meaningful because sometimes the first hit is the nuker hit. That could be actually very, very strong on protected champions. Cycle of Revenge has a 50% chance to increase the turn meter by 15% when an ally is attacked with a critical hit. Will only increase the turn meter once if an ally receives multiple critical hit. Okay, so if you're getting hit by a critical hit, which will happen a lot in arena, because in arena we are all know to build our champion 100% crit rate, well, you have 50% chance to get a boost to your turn meter. That could be good mastery on some kind of a reviver, some kind of a support, maybe even some kind of a nukers, that you want a chance of them to take a turn. So, decent. Retribution has a 50% chance to counterattack when this champion lose 25% of their max HP from a single enemy skill. Okay, again, you have 50% chance to counterattack if someone attack you, do not kill you, but attack you pretty hard and take a quarter of your health. Honestly, there's a bunch of nukers that we put on them this mastery, the retribution, because we kinda want them to counterattack and doing more damage with their counterattack. This is quite popular actually mastery, but he has a friend, this mastery, Deterrence. They are close to one another, and Deterrence is another counterattack mastery. Here there is only 20% chance to counterattack, but it's occur when an enemy put some kind of a CC debuff, not on you, on an ally. Okay, so if you have an ally that got CCs on him, you have a 20% chance to counterattack. So sometimes when we build in nukers and we give them the offense tree of damage, and we also decide to give them the defense tree, we decide to give them those two counterattack masteries, so they will have a chance to use their A1 more. Maybe they have a strong A1, some kind of a important A1 that put an important buff or debuff. All right, let's keep going. Solidarity. Increase ally resistance by 5 for each buff placed on them by this champion. So let's say you have a champion that put in a lot of buff, and let's say you want to build a comp revolving around high resistance. This mastery, solidarity can be very strong, can give you like 15 resistance, 10 resistance. I mean, that's nice. That could be nice. All right, next in line, Deadly Death. Ooh, reduce the damage this champion receives from a specific enemy by 0.75% with each hit taken from that enemy. And it's up to 6%. So that could be very good in a long battles because clan boss or something like that, that mastery can basically negate 6% of the damage. It could be very good. And yeah, that is some kind of a survivable, protected mastery. Can basically negate up to 6% of damage from single enemy. Alright, Harvest Despair has a 60% chance to place Leech debuff for one turn when you are placing some kind of a CC debuff. Not ship, but all other ones. So let's think about Fabian or Armands that put in a lot of debuff. They will have 60% chance to also put Leech. That could be very good in like Clan Boss or something like that when you need Leech. The problem is a lot of the bosses in Raid does not get stun on them. So actually like does not get CC on them. So actually it's kind of a counter synergy. But in arena or something like that, sometimes that leech and that heal can be the difference between winning or losing. As I told you about this mastery, the life drinker, that 5% extra healing, sometimes that could be the difference between winning or losing. All right, let's keep going. Stubbornness, ooh, what a name. Increase resistance by 10 for each debuff on the champion, stack up to 40%. This actually is not looking like a very good masteries. I don't know, because again, most of the time you do not want to have debuff on you, especially if you some kind of a high resistance build. But I don't know. I can think about a niche situation that actually that would be good and you will want this stubbornness. Like who knows? But it's similar to that mastery. Where is it? That one. Stock of Fury that you get more damage if you have a debuff on you, right? So think about it. Stubbornness. Cool. Let's keep going. Shadow Heal. Heal this champion by 6% of their max HP each time an enemy is healed. That can actually be very good. If you fight in some places that the enemy are healing themselves a lot of time, then you can get a lot of heal. It's occur once per turn, but not once per round. So it could happen a lot of time during the same round. Like a clan boss that heal, maybe Amius, the boss of Grim City that heals a lot. So you can get again some 6% heal yourself every time that boss heal. And in PvP also, I mean, I don't know, it's not seems like the most valuable, but maybe it can help in some niche situation. Resurgent Read has a 50% chance to remove one random debuff from the champion when they are lose 25% of their max HP from one attack, right? From one single enemy. That can also be very good mastery. I mean, let's think about a situation when you got stunned, let's say for a month, or you gotten frozen for some enemy, and then the nuker tries to kill you but couldn't, but take a big chunk of your HP, like 50% HP. So you are low HP, but this mastery make it so you remove the stun, and now you get a turn, and you can flip the table. You can turn the table and you can now win. You can now hit and kill the enemy and win because of that mastery. So I feel like this resurgent actually can be very useful mastery. Bloodthirst. Heal this champion by 10% of their max HP when they killed an enemy target. Not include boss minion. I don't think when Bloodthirst can be good, I mean, you need to be a nuker, you need to be strong enough to kill an enemy, and you need to be a nuker that need those 10% max HP. It's not a lot, but sometimes that can help you. I mean, maybe again the farmable champion that farmed Dragon 20 or something. So not versus the boss, but versus the wave. Maybe he need that 10% heal. Eh, it's kind of a niche. Wisdom of Battle has a 40% chance of placing block debuff on this champion for one turn when a stun sleep, a CC debuff, expire on this champion. So that is, I feel like, similar to that one, to Resurgent, in a sense that let's say you're in PvP and the enemy CC you, but they did not kill you, and the CC is now expire. At least you are getting a block debuff, let's say for the next round of attacks. Let's say they have an enemy like a Fabian that can do a lot of CCs, or I don't know, they basically have a lot of CC. At least now you are protected with this black debuff for some amount of time. So some sort of a defense mastery. All right, blast proof. Decrease damage received from AoE attack by 5%. Some sort of survivability mastery will give you extra 5% damage negation if it's an AoE attack. I mean, all right. Um, Rejuvenation. Increase the amount of healing and the value of shield buff this champion receive by 5%. So again, similar idea. Let's say you have a comp that heals a lot and put a lot of shield. Then you kind of want this mastery because that will give you 5% extra of those stuff. Uh, Mighty Endurance. Decrease the damage received by 10% if this champion has any sort of CC on him. So if you are stunned or you have fear on you, you get 10% less damage. I mean, I don't know. You can maybe use it in some sort of situation that you will know that you will get a lot of CC on you. Then that could help, and that could be the reason that you will not die. Improve parry. Decrease the damage received by this champion by 8% when this champion is hit with a critical hit. Actually, I can think about a lot of situations in PvP when the enemy will critical hit you because, as I said, usually in PvP, in Arena, we are building our champion, our nukers, with 100% critical rate. So an 8% damage negation can actually be very strong, improve parry. Cool. Alright. Tough skin will give us 75 extra defense. So again, you can think about that one compared to this one over here, iron skin, that give you 200. And you can think about the numbers, again, as you can think about this one, who gives you 10% crit damage, keen strike, and that one, flawless execution, that give you only 20% crit damage. So those are the numbers, but basically here, tier 1 defense plus 75 defense. I mean, decent, Similar to here, Blade Disciple, 75%, 75 attack. Anyway, the last mastery of the defense read Defiant and give you 10 resistance. And again, if you have a resistant build and you build your champions high resistance, then you use Defiant again, most likely plus this Unshakable that gives you 50 resistance. Okay, let's go straight away to the support tree and we will now read all the support masteries tree. So, bottom row, the most one to the left, Elixir of Life will give you 3000k HP. This is not a popular mastery. I don't see a lot of people pick it. But the meta is always evolving and changing, and maybe sometime the meta will change and we will think that this is strong. I feel like the numbers here are quite not, you need to tweak it. Maybe if it will be 5k HP, then people will pick it more. 3000 is not a lot. I feel like that is the reason. But anyway, now you know that there is an option to take a mastery that will give you an extra 3k HP. Okay, timely intervention. Increase this champion turn meter by 20% whenever an ally hero drop below 25% HP. So for a reviver, let's say you have some kind of reviver champion or some kind of a protected champion, a cleanser, then I feel like they will like this mastery because they will have a chance to boost their turn meter, and maybe if the enemy like attack us, maybe kill our nukers, we will get a turn and we can revive, we can protect. So it's basically a speed turn, like it's increased the turn meter. Cool, can work. All right, next one, oppressor. Oppressor read increase the turn meter fill rate by 2.5% for each active debuff cast by this champion. Stack up to 10%. So if you are a champion that doing a lot of debuff on the enemy, you can get more turn meter. Your turn meter will feel faster, up to 10% faster turn meter. Um, Let's think about Gizmak maybe actually. Gizmak put in 4 debuff at the start of the turn, 4 HP burn. Actually, if you want your Gizmak to go faster, to be very, very fast, you build your Gizmak really fast, actually maybe this mastery can be very good, can means that Gizmak will actually go first. You get 10% faster turn meter. Interesting, right? Let's say I build him 400 speed, and at the start of the turn, he will put 4 debuff. Let's say the enemy doesn't have Mercurial or, the black debuff stuff on them. Then I'm getting, instead of 400 speed, I'm getting 440 speed, 10% extra, perhaps. 40 extra speed? Is that how it works? I mean, that could be very meaningful. Very meaningful. Okay, lastly, Eagle Eye will give you plus 50 accuracy. So similar to this Unshakable that give you plus 50 resistance, you have here Eagle Eye. If you want to build your champion the highest accuracy ever, you will use this one, right? Or if basically you need more accuracy for your build, yeah? Okay, let's keep going. Lasting Gift has a 30% chance to extend the duration of any buff cast by this champion by 1 turn. Will not extend block damage, unkillable, etc. So, if you are doing a lot of buff, important buff, increase defense, increase resistance, I don't know, stuff like this, shield, then you kind of want this mastery will have a 40% chance to put one more turn of duration of the buff. One small tip, let's say you have a champion that puts stone skin on themselves, let's say like Leonardo or something like that, our base, then this mastery will make it so they will have a chance to put 2 turn duration of the stone skin. That could be very meaningful, right? So think about it. This mastery is actually very important, I feel like. Uh, Spirit Haste, increase speed by 8 for each dead ally, up to 25. So again, this mastery can be very good for some kind of a farmer champion that will want to farm like Dragon 10 hard, Ice Golem 10 hard, and your ally is basically food ally that will die and will give you extra 24 speed. Interesting. Sniper, increase the chance of placing any debuff from skill or artifact by 5%. Will not extend the CC debuff. This is used a lot, I feel like, by Marius that can put the debuff, that's very important. What the name of it? Enfeeble. Marius can put Enfeeble, which is A1. So yeah, now I'm at Marius and it's very important mastery. I actually have it on Marius. You can put in Feeble, very important. It has 5% extra chance. So if you have champion that does not have a 100% chance to land debuff, and you want to increase the chance of them to land that specific debuff, take notice, not debuff like stun, sleep, etc. Then you take this mastery. All right, Master Hexer. has a 40% chance to extend the duration of any debuff by one turn. So if you had a mastery like Lasting Gift that extend the buff, here you have Master Exer that extend the debuff. And again, you can extend the debuff of Ensnare. No, not Ensnare. What the name of it? Enfeeble? No. Yeah, you have a chance to extend the debuff of Enfeeble. So on Marius, those are very, very good. As you can see, on my Marius, I actually chose those two debuff because think about a situation that you put Enfeeble for 2 turns on enemy, that can be devastated, right? So very cool. Okay. Uh, Merciful Aid. Increase the amount of healing and the value of shield buff placed by this champion by 15% if the target ally is under stun, sleep, fear, etc. So if you try to heal or put shield on a champion that has CC on him, you will get an extra 15% extra heal, extra shield. Can be decent, not very popular mastery, but now you know that this merciful aid is actually exist, and if you can think of situation to use it, then use it. Circle of Magic. This is actually quite popular mastery, has a 5% chance to decrease the cooldown of one random skill by one turn at the start of every turn. No, no restriction at all. 5% every single time when you take your turn, you have a chance to decrease one of your abilities cooldown by one turn. Very popular, actually is good one. I think you need to be careful if you use Cycle of Magic versus bosses like Emius of Curse City, because I think Emius, every time you decrease your own cooldown, is doing some bad things to you. So this is actually a problem, but in general, very good and popular mastery. Lord of Steel. Increase the boss stats, increase the base stats set bonus of all artifact that increase base stats by 50%. This increase is multiplicative, not additive. Well, don't ask me exactly what that means in terms of numbers, because sorry, but I do not know. But I do know that Law of Steel is again a popular mastery that a lot of people choose that can basically boost your stats by 15% or so. So it's valuable. Let's say you're using sets like 9-piece variable sets that give you a lot of stats, maybe resistance, maybe accuracy, maybe speed, then the plus 15% here is noticeable. And a lot of people choosing this mastery. Evil Eye. Decrease the target turn meter when this champion hit them with the default skill for the first time. It will decrease the turn meter by 20 if it's a single target hit, or 5 if it's an AoE. So Evil Eye actually can be good. I used it when I needed to beat the bosses of Faction War, normal, not hard, for the first time, because you can decrease their turn meter, and sometimes that could mean the difference between winning or losing. I would have just basically used those Evil Eye. It's only one time decrease the turn meter, for the first time, but that actually helped me defeat some bosses in faction war, just so you know. I mean, because it's not always you have like a champions like Armands, let's say, that can use his A2 and decrease the turn meter by a lot, or Allure. So I used it actually. That helped me. But Evil Eye, you don't use it a lot, but sometimes you use it. Okay. Healing Savior. Increase the amount of healing and the value of shield buff placed by this champion by 10% if the target ally has 40% HP or less. So this is actually similar to, where is it? Here, Miracle Aid, right? Basically, now the restriction is that the enemy needs to have low HP, like 40% or less, and the boost is only 10%, but again, it's a boost to the healing or the shield. So let's say you have a champion that is doing a lot of heal and a lot of shield, and you kind of want to increase the amount of healing and shield that is doing because this is your strategy. Maybe it's like a clan boss, and that will be the difference between going up to turn 40 or turn 40. I don't know. So it's a strategy. So you can take those masteries together. Actually, the clan boss does stun. He stun one enemy. So, here. Interesting. But it's not that popular mastery. I will say that. I don't use this mastery a lot. All right. Rapid response has a 40% chance to increase the turn meter by 10% when a buff cast by this champion is removed or expired. This is more popular actually. I mean, can help you. You need to take into account that those masteries that change the turn meter can hurt you if you speed tune your team, like for Demon Lord or something like that. If you know, you know. But if you do not speed tune your team, let's say it's arena or something, and you put in a lot of buff, so you have a chance to basically just be faster, and go first more and more and more time. Not go first, just basically go faster. So that can be good if you have buff that expire 10% more turn meter. And this mastery, Swarm Smite. Increase accuracy by 4 for each enemy alive. Stack up to 16. So I can use it in Arena, I can use it in Hydra, I can use it versus a lot of enemies. If I need more accuracy, I will get 16 more accuracy if the enemies are alive. And this guy, Arcane Celerity, has a 40% chance to increase the turn meter by 10 when a debuff cast by this champion is removed or expired. So this is the brother of this one, Rapid Response, only that this one, Arcane Celerity, will work on debuff. If you put in a lot of debuff and they are expire or remove, you have a chance to go faster. I mean, why not? Actually, those two masteries remind me of those two brothers over here. Master Excel and Lasting Gift. Lasting Gift will have a chance to get more duration on a buff that you're doing. You can see they're actually in the same column. How cool is that? Here. Oh no, not the same color, but same side. This guy over here, the left side, and this guy the left side, Lasting Gift. And Master Xer has a chance to extend the duration of debuff, and it's on the right side, similar to Arcane Celerity, which will give you more turn meter if your debuff expire. So nice. This hopefully help you understand more the mastery of the support and know at least which sort of masteries are there. Because if you are like me, most likely this is the first time that you go for each and every mastery one by one, right? For me, this is actually the first time ever in 3+ years of playing that I am going one by one on the masteries. I don't know, cool. Okay, lay on hands. Increase the value of heal this champion cast by 5%. I mean, simple one. If you are a healer and you want to put more heal, you can take this mastery, 5% more heal. Again, I don't think this is really popular. I don't find myself use it a lot. But maybe it's because I'm not doing the build of a healer. Okay, shield breaker. Increase the value of shield this champion cast by 5. Okay, so now it's separated. You have one mastery for healing, one mastery for shield. It's separate. It's not like those one, let's say healing savior or merciful aid that taken both the healing and the shield together, but has some restriction. So here you do not have restriction, but it's only 5% and it separate one mastery for healing, another one for shield. All right, here, exalt in death. Exalt in death? I don't know what that means. Exalt in death? Anyway, heal this champion by 10% of their max HP the first time an enemy is killed in each round. So this is similar actually to a mastery from the defense. Can't remember where exactly. I feel like, yeah, that one, Bloodthirst, that gave you extra 10% healing when you killed an enemy, not including boss minion. But here, it's actually just an enemy that will die. You do not have to kill him. So I feel like this mastery is way better because I don't know, thinking about a champion that is a nuker that can also kill and need the heal, kind of a counter synergy because if you are a nuker, you basically do not does not count on those 10% heal to make you survive. But here, let's say you are kind of a support champion. I don't know, every time an enemy is killed, each round at least, so in arena only one time because arena is one round, well, you get 10% more heal, can be helpful in some situation. Uh, Charge focus. Increase accuracy by 20 when this champion has no skill on cooldown. So let's say this is the first turn you take and you use your ability that need accuracy that put the debuff. You have 20 extra accuracy on that one. I have it on Marius. I mean, actually it's not the best because usually Marius need accuracy on his A1 and usually he will use his A1, then he already using his A2 and his A3. So not the best, but well, I have it on Marius. Maybe if we'll counter attack, at the start of the round. Maybe I need to change it actually. Okay. Steadfast give you 810 HP. Actually can be good. I myself does not use it a lot, but this mastery you should know about and think about if you need to build your champion higher max HP. That reminds me, let's revisit again the elixir of life, give you 3000 extra HP, tier 6. Okay, and last mastery, pinpoint accuracy will give you extra 10 accuracy. That's it. So peeps, that was kind of a long video. I gone through all of the masteries. Hopefully that was cool, enjoyable for you. Hopefully, I don't know, you could have listened to my voice rambling on. I mean, maybe in a different video, I will actually also share some build of masteries. I don't know, this video, I guess all I want to do is only to go through each and every one of the masteries with you and show you and explain to you the masteries. I guess I will not in this video show you some build, only show you the masteries, explain to you each and every one of them, get to know them for me also, not only for you, also for me to get to know which mastery we have. Tell me if this video was interesting. I don't know. Thank you so much for watching, peeps. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.